Hey, welcome back to my channel, A Touch of Flourish. I'm Catherine Ball. Listen, today I'm going to start a new series, and it's where we are going to go and read through all of the Psalms. It's very simple. Today, if you haven't guessed it, I'm going to start with Psalms 1. And I think it's just a great thing to do, but I do feel a nudge to do this, and so I'm just going to follow that. So we're going to read Psalms 1. And I hope that this can help anybody who is watching who, if you're having, whether you're having, a bad day, going through a rough season, or if you really just might have a hard time reading the Bible. I mean, I feel like most of us have been there where we either are going through something that we just feel like, oh, I just can't read this. It's just, or there's an intimidation factor with reading God's word and, oh, I don't understand it. I don't know what it means. And I think, hey, this is a great time. Let's just crack the book open and read it. With Psalms, I think it really shows how, whether it's David or whoever is writing the Psalm, that we can go from feeling completely hopeless and in despair and just, all of those feelings where we really feel like we're not being seen, to also walking into God's glory and saying, no, I am covered by God. I am not lost. I am not forgotten. God will have the victory here. And God is a good, gracious, merciful, loving God. And I feel like we all go through periods in our lives where that's how we feel. We might be experiencing or feeling despair, and then we can move from that into, you know what? God's got this. Woo, getting a little windy. Today I'm starting in Psalms 1. It's going to be in the Passion Translation. I love that translation. I think it's easy to understand. And I mean, if you have a hard time reading the Bible or understanding it, this is a great translation. I love it. So let's go ahead and start. Psalms 1 is called the Tree of Life. What delight comes to the one who follows God's ways? He won't walk in step with the wicked, nor share the sinner's way, nor be found sitting in the scorner's seat. His pleasure and passion is remaining true to the word of I am, meditating day and night in the true revelation of light. He will be standing firm like a flourishing tree, planted by God's design, deeply rooted by the brooks of bliss, bearing fruit in every season of his life. He is never dry, never fainting, ever blessed, ever prosperous. But how different are the wicked? All they are is dust in the wind, driven away to destruction. The wicked will not endure the day of judgment, for God will not defend them. Nothing they do will succeed or endure for long, for they have no part with those who walk in truth. But how different it is for the righteous. The Lord embraces their paths as they move forward, while the way of the wicked leads only to doom. I just love it. I mean, it's a wonderful psalm. And I hope that this helps you guys if you're in a hard place or not. I hope that it helps those who really have a hard time reading the Bible and feel like it's just too hard to understand. And if you're in that boat, if you have a hard time with reading the Bible, follow along. You can use any translation that makes sense to you. But I really recommend opening a Bible. You can either have an app on your phone. So if you don't have a physical Bible, that's fine. You can have an app on your phone. And you can read through it. And even if you don't know how to pronounce certain words, you can actually, if you have an app, it can read it for you. Most of them can. So, sometimes I have a hard time pronouncing some of the names in the Bible, admittedly. And I'll just turn my phone on and have it play to help me know how to pronounce the words. But I don't know. I think that this is going to be a fun series just to go through all the Psalms. I hope it helps you wherever you are in your walk with God, whether you are in the beginning or the middle or whatever it is. Hopefully not the end. But yeah, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. Go ahead and subscribe. Especially if you want to see more of these videos, I'll go ahead and put them in a special category all on their own. If you just want to go directly to them, to the series of the Psalms, because I am going to be doing this regularly. So I will be reading a psalm of the week, very simple, straightforward. And if there is a favorite part that really speaks to you, please share it in the comments. I love that. I actually have a part of this highlighted, and it's verse 3, which is just, I'll reread it real quick. He will be standing firm like a flourishing tree, planted by God's design, deeply rooted by the brooks of bliss, bearing fruit in every season of his life. He is never dry, never fainting, ever blessed, ever prosperous. I love that so much, because it's God's promise that whatever he sets out to do, he is going to do. And we do have to remember that it's not always going to look like what we think it's going to look like. Flourishing with God, we think, oh, it's going to be always good. And that's not true. How we grow with God is often in the most darkest and hardest times in our life. So if you're going through a hard time and you're like, what? How come, when it talks about flourishing with God, why am I going through all of these rough times? Actually, you can still flourish with God. And that's the whole point, is to flourish in every season. And so you're not doing anything wrong. You haven't caused it. This is something that we all have to go through. So I hope that helps you. Please take care. Have a great day. You can follow me on all of the other platforms. I'll link them below. And I'll see you later.